With the summer months approaching, what we know for certain is that children between the ages of 1 and 4 are at a high risk of drowning. They're the highest risk age group for this way of death. And what we know is in Houston, we're going to see at least 10 to 15 this coming summer. It's unfortunate. What we're talking about is apartment complex drownings. So we're dealing with multifamily units where there's a lot of families living there, have a lot of children on the property. Many of these communities offer swimming pools as one of the amenities. And the state of Texas, along with local ordinances and the federal regulations, require very specific enclosures around these swimming pools at multifamily units and apartment complexes. Most importantly, you have to have a perimeter fence that does not allow unauthorized access. That perimeter fence has to be at least 4 feet tall. That perimeter fence must have a gate that both self-closes and self-latches without any human involvement. So we're talking about a gate that you pass through, and when you look back, it's closing on its own and locking. Okay, that's what the code requires. Unfortunately, at my law firm, every summer we see a multitude of drowning deaths of children at local apartment complexes. And invariably, whether it's a gate issue or a perimeter fence issue, what we always see is there's some deficiency in the perimeter fencing or gate system that allows young children to get into the pool. And not surprisingly, when they get in unsupervised, the highest risk for them is drowning and death. And that's what we're going to see. And so I urge you, if you live in an apartment complex, a multi-family unit that has a swimming pool, make sure that that gate self-closes and self-latches. Make sure there are no openings between the gate slats that are larger than 4 inches. Make sure there's nothing large enough for a child to enter. That's the bottom line. Make sure there's no climbing hazards nearby. Make sure your kids will be safe. Because the code contemplates that these children will be unattended, will somehow sneak away from mom or dad or mom and dad, and will encounter this pool perimeter fencing system. And the code is written to prevent an unauthorized child from getting in and drowning. It's just unfortunate for us. We see code violation after code violation that results in these deaths.